Didi, so happy to have you here.
So happy to be here.
Finally. Do you want to tell me a little bit about you, what you do, your background?
Alright, let's see. Where do we start? I'm from Houston. Grew up, born and raised in Houston. Single parent household. Don't know my dad, anything like that. We kind of lived in my grandmother's house most of my life. Let's see. Graduated high school, went to the Army.
You did?
Yeah.
The Army?
Yeah.
What?
So I was in the Army for about 6.5 years.
Woohoo. So you got the GI Bill?
Yeah.
You gave that to your son?
Yeah. So I was in the military and his mom was in the military.
Okay, so
yeah,
hooked up.
Yeah, he is. So I went to the military. His mom was in the military. Stationed in DC. Stayed out there for a little while. Ended up moving to California. Got stationed out there. Then when my term ended, moved back to Houston. But the entire time I was still doing music. So I put out like my first project like 2008. So it's like 16 years ago.
So you've been in the business for a minute.
Yeah. Like the first time I ever heard myself on a song was in middle school in the 7th grade. We did a song for school and they played it over the intercom at school. And I got to see the reaction of people and I was like, I'm doing this for the rest of my life. And I literally did. So in the military, I was still doing music and all my sergeants would tell me, when your term is up, don't re-enlist. And I was like, why? It's like, you gotta go do music. Like,
you're calling.
You're not supposed to go to Afghanistan or Iraq. That's not your thing. Like, you're supposed to be doing it. So, then we got here, 2 kids, son and a daughter, and still pursuing.
2 kids, 2 baby mamas?
Yeah. 2 kids' mothers. I don't want to say baby mamas.
Okay.
Kind of sounds like degrading in some weird way. So, I like to say kids' moms. But, I have 2 of those, and 2 of the greatest kids ever.
My goodness, your little girl is so adorable.
Yeah, that's my baby.
She's so cute.
That's my baby. I call her Pouts.
Yeah.
But so that's kind of the skeleton of who I am.
So what brought you to Vegas?
So in 2017, the Super Bowl was in Houston.
Mm-hmm.
So at that time I was working with Hennessy and they ended up hooking a situation up where I performed at this pre-Super Bowl party and it was on TV. So I started sending music out to everybody in Vegas, this, that, and the third. Then I met my daughter's mom that way. She knew someone else. I got out here and then I started like doing interviews at 985 and different radio stations out here and I just kind of never left after that. And so it's been 8 years now.
8?
Wait, 7. John 24. Yeah, so I've been here 7 years and I feel like I just got here, but yeah.
Wow.
I think
it's because you're kind of like private. You don't really like go out there. You don't do the whole party scene.
Nah, that's not my thing.
So that's probably why.
Yeah, and I think because I did that, like in my early 20s. So from like
been there, done that.
Yeah, like I started going. I hope kids don't do this, but I started going to clubs at like 15, 16 because I was using my cousin's ID. You know, he was older than us, but we kind of looked alike. So I was getting in grown clubs, like the adult clubs at that age. So, and then once I started working with Hennessy, I was at the club 3-4 nights a week. So, and that's every week. So that burned you out.
Well, yeah.
So now I got to Vegas and I was like, I already know what the club life is like and what that is like. So now if I do go out, it has to just make sense. Like, hey, our friends are going to be here. It's a good networking thing. You should probably come, this and the third, but not me just like, let's go to the club. Like,
right, you don't have that each. But do you think maybe that could be a problem? Like if you're trying to be, obviously you want to be a successful, famous singer. That's the life. Like they go out, it
depends. It depends on what lifestyle you're trying to live. Like you can, like I look up to Prince and people like that. They weren't in the clubs like that. You know,
they were at the beginning, but then once they got their names out there, they're like, okay, I don't
at the beginning, and I was there at the beginning. So now I'm in a space now where I'm like, if it makes sense, I'm gonna do it. But if it's just being in the club, like, what are we doing? If it's just music playing, like if I know the DJ and he's like, hey, I'm gonna spin your song tonight, this, that, and the third. All right, cool. That makes more sense. But me just being in the club, I don't see how that brings me somebody's gonna be like, hey, you look like an artist. What's your name? Like you're in the club, everybody look like artists. Everybody got their own sections and stuff going on. Like everybody think there's somebody in the club. So, but if I'd rather go to events, like a networking event, like something where it's not like a million people, where it's just like, all right, everybody's here for a specific thing. You have managers, you have artists, you have blah, 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 executives and things like that. Investors that want to, invest in music, something like that. So
that's smart.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that one.
Yeah.
Especially because in the club, they're all drunk.
Yeah.
Two is way too loud. You can't have
It's difficult to have. I always tell artists that, like, how difficult it is to have a conversation with somebody over loud music. They don't want to hear anything. If I'm in a club and we drinking it, I don't want to hear nothing about your music, like at all. Because in my head, I'm like, what? It's gonna go one ear out the other. Like I remember when I was with Hennessy, we would meet so many different people and people that were big, but I would be in the club trying to, I'm dear Dominique, and they're like, yeah, what? And I'm just like, they're like, just take my number, take my card or something. And I'm just like, yeah. And then the next day you hit them up, they're like, who? And I'm like, I met you in the club last night. They're like, oh, okay, here's my email, send me some music, and that's kind of it. But, so that's when I started to like kind of figure out what I wanted to do with my time.
Right. That's good.
I'd rather be at home and create, like whether it's writing or some content or with the kids or something like that, than like waste my time coming out.
That's good. I like that. And I actually, before the podcast, I went around and I asked inside some groups some questions for you, and they all listened to your music. They were like blown away.
Thank you.
Especially June. I sent them June, so everybody's obsessed with that song right now. It's gonna be that. This better be the hit of the summer. Vegas better be ready for that song because it's.
I love that song.
Yeah,
that's
so good.
Probably, of course, every artist gonna say that, but that's probably one of my favorite songs ever.
So that's the question. Why June? Is that like someone's name? Is that the
month? No. So it was kind of a situation where June just was one of those, you think about this situation you've been in, this situation you've been in, you just kind of put everything there. I do that with a lot of my music. It's not just about one specific person all the time or one specific situation.
Right.
It can be, just a few, and then I put them into one. And I remember one day I said to myself, because John Mayer is my favorite artist. So,
who?
John Mayer, my favorite artist.
Really?
Yeah. Literally my favorite artist. Yeah.
Because
he's amazing.
Is he?
Yeah, John Mayer, yeah.
I think I only know like your Body's a Wonderland.
Nah, you gotta get more than that. Like he has an album my favorite album's called Room for Squares. And she got me a vinyl of it a couple of years ago. But yes, so John Mayer has an album called Room for Squares. There's a song called Back to You. I listen to that song all the time. That's my favorite song. And I remember saying, I don't have a song like that. And then that same day, it was just me and my daughter at the house. And I was looking at this Post Malone concert. And he sung this song called Circles. And I remember sitting there.
I like that song.
Yeah, and I sat there and I was like, John Mayer, Back to You. I was like, Circles. I don't have a song like this. They're just talking about, like, I have a lot of songs, but just not that type of sound of a song. And so I remember I was writing the song, and the first thing came to my head was, you sent me a text saying, let's just be friends, right? Because I've got that text before. And I kind of broke it down like that. And then my daughter sat there, and I was like, Daddy needs to record. And she goes, well, I'll come in there. So I'm in the living room recording, had my headphones in. She sat on my lap the whole time I recorded it. And I remember it took me about an hour to finish everything. And then that's why at the end of the song, she's like laughing because she's asking me, can we go outside now? Because the whole time I was recording, she's like, can we just go outside? Can we go outside? Can we go outside? I said, give me a sec. I said, as soon as I'm done with the song, I promise you I'm going to take you outside. And so I called her at the end when it was the song where I was finishing the ending. And she was like, can we go outside now? And I just kept it in the song.
That was really cool. I like that.
Yeah, that's a long-winded answer. But yeah, June is just like different parts of things.
So it's not as... Because some people in the chat, they were saying, is it because LGBTQ whatever month I'm like,
Wait,
no,
what?
he's straight.
Yeah, I was like, what? I was like, what does that got to do with
Because
anything?
like maybe that's a woman's name. I'm like,
No.
I
I just looked at it like June. Like it was just one of them. I want you to come back to me at this part, right? We'll come back to June. June is our time of the year type of thing. Cause
it's like right in the middle of the year.
yeah, and I'm the type of person, if it comes to me, I'll just go with that. And I didn't want to go, June sounds weird. Because it would have sounded weird if I said October. You know, I'm like, everything back to me October.
Yeah, I mean,
June just fit. And I don't know why that month fit, but it just fit in a situation. So I just went with it, and I was like,
I think it fits because it raises questions. Like, is it a woman? Is it because he's like at the cusp of yes and no?
Yeah.
He's confused. You're like,
and if you listen to the song, I'm not the one necessarily confused. It's her, because I'm saying, if you call quits, should I call you? I don't know if it's too late or too soon. You know, like my soul is too close to you, and we're so close to the
Can we hear a little bit of you singing a cappella a little bit?
I'm not a cappella no damn June.
What? Why not?
I don't know. That's just not my thing.
So if you go in front of, like, if you go on a stage right now, you're not going to sing?
Oh, I'm on the stage? Yeah, we're in the stage.
Think about it.
Yeah, I'm in the stage. I'm performing in June. That's off the whim.
So you want to hear, like, some type of beat? You want to hear
Yeah. Like, even if it was like an acoustic guitar playing or something, it kind of make more sense.
Okay. So the questions that we had, that the ladies had, which albums or songs would you take with you if you were stranded on a desert island?
How many albums do I get?
Let's just go 3.
Room for Squares, Carter 2, Anita Baker, Rapture. Anita Baker. She's like a singer from like the 80s.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure. Her album Rapture has nothing but number 1 hits on it. Like, so I would go with that. But if I was stranded, I would want to like make my own playlist. So
I was hoping you would say that.
Yeah, mix everything.
Like maybe
one
a
album
DD album, like your album. Like you gotta bring your own, because ain't nobody else if you're not putting your.
Like when it comes to my music, I kind of like make playlists, because it's hard for me to say this is my favorite album by myself, because the next week I'll make something else and I'm like, no, this is my favorite. It's just kind of like one of those things, you know, like something I did in 2008 would have been my favorite in 2008. But now when I hear it, I'm like, I can't believe I sounded like that. Yeah, of course, 2008, I didn't sound at all nothing like I do today. Like in 2008, I was only rapping. So I was just rapping. And my best friend AC, one day, I was doing a song and he was like, hey, I had an idea for this song for a woman. And I was like, okay. And he was like, he had the song written down. He was like, but I think you'll sound good. I was like, I don't even sing. What are you talking about? He's like, nah, you do kind of sing. I was singing in church, And he's like, I was like, nah, I never sung on a church. And I did, and it was a song called Get to Know You. And they came out in 2008, 2009. And then we saw the reception of how it was in Houston. And we performed it at clubs and performed it at all these lounges, and girls are like, acting like everyone with the song. And I'm like, I'm never rapping again. But of course I still rap. But now it's just more singing.
Oh, nice. Yeah. And I saw you have a lot of range.
Yeah.
I'm like, why aren't you going to like America's Got Talent, like one of those?
I don't know. I never thought to do anything like that. I've always like, I don't know, never. I didn't have that like thought process. I think the range just comes from what I listen to. Like growing up in my house, my cousin, because I live with my grandma, my grandfather. My cousin Dion, she lived there with us too, and she would be playing like Tupac and Usher. But then my mom would be playing oldies. But then my grandpa would be playing oldies, but it would be like from the 50s.
Love it.
And then I was getting into, I don't know how, because I'm like this dude from the hood, so I don't know how I started listening to John Mayer back in 2005 and 2006. But I was. And then I fell in love with Maroon 5. And I fell in love with all these people. And so when I started to like really get into songwriting, I started to look at John Mayer and all these people, and I started making my own sound. And then it just kind of came about where I was like, all right, I'm not gonna just make music for my friends. Because all my music at first used to be for like my friends. Like, I can't make a June. I'm like, where I'm from, my father's like, I ain't trying to hear that shit. You know, they want to hear rap and stuff like that. So, yeah, but then I just got into my own vibe and yeah. And now we're here.
That's good.
Now people just expect like, all right, if you put a song out, I don't know if it's gonna be pop, R&B. I don't know if it's country. I don't know if it's rock. Like I like that feeling now. Instead of them just like, oh, he's about to drop a song. I don't like being predictable when it comes to music at all.
Because I like that you're very authentic, even with like your style,
Yeah.
the way you speak. You know, you still kept that little bit of the southern.
Yeah. I'm from the South.
Yeah, so you didn't like try to like
no, I'm not trying to like
anything.
No, I'm not faking anything. The way I am.
That's good.
The way I try to be the same person every day. Like I never want nobody, even when, like my friends gonna see this podcast. If I'm not acting myself, they're gonna be like, bro, that's not even how you act. You know, like that. She would tell me, like, nah, it's good, but
yeah,
be yourself, you know, type of thing.
Right.
So
it's good. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of my thing. My thing is kind of authenticity. Just figure out who you are and just be that person.
I like that. That's actually good advice for young kids these days. What about your role model? One person you look up to?
My mama. Yeah, for sure.
And why is that?
My mama is the epitome of not even just a woman, a person. Like my mama is like top tier.
Mama's boy, huh?
Yeah.
Are you like the only son?
No, so my mom had my brother when I was 18. So I grew up by myself. And then when I was leaving out the house, she had my little brother.
Oh, wow.
So now my little brother's 17. So basically I grew up by myself though. So yeah, but me and my mom are like this. We talk all damn day. We probably talk 3-4 times a day. We text all the time. And she is the epitome of a person, strong-minded, independent as hell, funny, gorgeous, just everything that, she's just everything. So yeah, mama.
Oh girl, it's gonna be hard to top that. You go.
Yeah, my mom was just, she just that. And she just that. Yeah.
That's awesome. Memory. Best childhood memory. While we're at the mama chapter.
I won a talent show.
Oh gosh. Such as?
It was a talent show, but it was the first time my mom went. So it was my mom there, my aunts came. I was young. I was like, I think I was 6th grade, and I was performing with like high school seniors.
Oh, wow.
And it was like a big competition, and it was hosted by, I think his name, I'm saying it right, Christopher Reed from the movie Kid and Play. So it was hosted by him. And I was like, at that time, 6th grade. And I remember it was like nothing but older people and grown-ups in this talent show, and we ended up winning. And I remember I danced, and I did a whole thing to Cisco Unleash the Dragon.
Oh my.
Yeah. And I had this little,
that.
I had this little dragon outfit on. It was cringy. But at the moment, it was like, whatever. And I went out there and I competed and I was singing and dancing and rapping and doing this whole thing. And I won it, and it was cool to win. My mom was there, my aunts and my uncles was there, my grandma came. And they set like kind of like the raptor things. So when I got off stage and we had to win it, everybody's like asking pictures. This is my first time getting that type of thing. And then girls like talking but not knowing that's my mom. So like, oh my God, he did it. That's my mom was like, that's my son. That's how she was talking. She's like, that's my son, type of thing. And yeah, it just was one of those type of feelings. And I was like, oh, I could be good at this. So yeah, that's probably one of my childhood.
That's probably when you got that taste of fame and you were like, this is...
Yeah, it wasn't just the fame. It's also how people react to like stuff you just do. Like, fame is cool. But I'd rather somebody walk up to me and go, listen, your song changed my life. Or your song made me feel like my favorite thing to get is when somebody DM me or something and say, June is the exact situation I'm in right now. Whether it's male or female. Because I get guys say just well, like, bro, like me and my girl going through blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, the same way I feel about John Mayer and Back to You in that song, somebody makes me feel the exact same way. And I'm always like, that's why I take songwriting so serious. I always lead with, I'm a songwriter. I never really lead with, I'm a music artist, because there's so many music artists, right? And everybody wants to be a music artist. But when you say you're a songwriter, it makes people look at you differently. Oh.
You can be both?
Yeah, you can be both. But I don't usually say I'm a songwriter, music artist. That's just a lot of stuff. I just kind of go, I'm a songwriter. And then they go, oh my God, like what songs do you write? And then you can kind of say your song. So when they listen to your song, they're thinking of lyrics already. So now when they hear June or Call Me or any of these thousands of songs I have out, they're like, oh, he's a writer. It's different between just being a music artist. Like
Interesting.
Like Beyonce is a music artist. We don't look at Beyonce as a great writer and performer, an amazing performer. Beyonce's here. So, but we don't look at her like a writer. We know she has writers. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Like, I'm that guy. You know, so hopefully one day I can write Beyonce too. So.
Yeah. So if you had to pick between songwriting and being a musician, if you could only do one, which one would you go for?
Like, if I'm the artist, somebody else got to write my music for me?
Say you could be famous as a performer or singer.
But somebody else is writing the music?
Yeah.
I want to be the writer.
So you would rather
I don't want anybody to write like my...
So why don't you focus on like sending your stuff to people?
I do.
Oh, you send it?
Yeah. Oh, so, okay. I don't want to say the guy's name, but I have a few people that I send music to on an everyday basis that they're like with certain bigger artists, and they just kind of pitch my songs to them all the time or whatever. And then sometimes it kind of doesn't go through because these artists are not working on albums at the moment. Mm-hmm. So they're just like, hey, I just put an album on last year. I'm not going to put another album on 2 years. I'm not really working on music. But yeah, if I had to pick, it would be writing, because writing is just, I think nobody else could tell my story the way I say it. And I don't want, it's a connection I have to like writing. I think because when I was younger, I was a songwriter before I knew what it was. I was writing things down in 4th grade, 5th grade, writing them on my notes. Like, even when I was younger and it was like little girls, like I would write them a love letter and like give it to them, but it was like, I would rhyme it. Mm. So it would basically be a song to a certain extent, but I wasn't thinking that. And now as I'm older, I'm like, oh, all I'm doing now is writing love letters just as an adult and putting it on an actual track.
Right. So a poet that has passion for music.
Yeah, kinda. Yeah. I look at myself like.
And because you write so much love stuff, I think that says you're very romantic and whatnot. So
it's a lot of breakup stuff too. A lot of breakup.
Still in the romance.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of my lane. It's like love and then breakup and then love and then I'm sorry. And then take me back or don't take me back or that type of thing. Like I try to write a lot of music from the women's perspective as well.
That's good.
Where they're like, I'm like, hey, you can take me back, but if I was you, I would do X, Y, and Z. You know. So.
Did you know that Neo wrote that song for Beyonce? The one with to the left, to the left.
Yeah. Yep.
That's a brilliant song. I was like, dang.
It's most of the hits that you hear from women are written by men. The majority of them. Like, I'm always tapped in with songwriters. I'm like, oh, Nia wrote that. Oh, Rihanna's music. The Dream wrote all of that music. Like, these people are like, and that's kind of how I am. Because I could just kind of, especially growing up with just a single mom and seeing things she's went through, I could tap into that and just be like, oh. Or things I might have put women through at times in my life. I could just be like, oh. Like, I know what they feel. I already know why they feel that way. So, yeah.
So last year, today,
was
going to be your last day on Earth.
Yep. Last year.
Last year today was going to be your last day on Earth.
Yeah.
How do you feel about that? Maybe you want to explain what happened.
All right, so I literally have never, ever even discussed this topic ever. Not even like on like TikTok, nothing. So April 14th, remember I tell you I had to get another job, right? So I'm working at Saks office at that time. And that morning was just off for some reason. I knew something was just off. And I remember I talked to my mama, and then something kept telling me to call my grandma. And I still don't understand what kept telling me to. And I talk to my grandma all the time. But something that morning was like, call her. And I was like, I'll call her in a minute. And I went to go grab something for work. And then I think it was my badge or something. I was like, let me just call her quick. Hey, what you doing? She was like, oh, nothing. What you doing? I was like, oh, nothing. Get ready to go to work. She goes, oh, okay. And then she asked about my daughter, asked about my son. Everybody good. And she said, all right, well, call me when you get off work. I said, okay. As I'm talking to her, I'm getting in the Uber. Hang up the phone with her. Literally, close the door, hung up the phone with her. My mom calls at the same time. I was like, yeah, just got the phone with Granny. And she was like, oh, okay. I was like, I'm gonna call you back. I'm gonna call you back. And she goes, okay. And I said, I'll call you on my lunch break. Hung up the phone. Not even a minute and a half, we left out of the apartments. We were turning. And I remember my Uber driver said something funny. I don't even know what he said at that time. And he was just an older guy. And I just remember he turned right. And when he turned right, I had my phone in my hand. So I laughed at what he said. I just put my head down and looked at my phone. Not even 2 seconds later. Right? So I don't know, but I don't know what it feels like to die or anything like that. But it was the most quiet. I don't know how long everything was going on, but it was so quiet. It was just quietness. And then I just remember like waking up, but I'm like in the back seat in the car. It's like this in the back of the window. The window shield's on my head, and my Uber driver's like slumped over.
Oh.
And I remember sitting there. The first thing I thought about was my kids. It's like they were the first thing I thought about my kids. And I remember I sat there and I like tried to sit up, but as I'm sitting up, I could just hear people just screaming. I could hear people screaming, and then this guy kept looking at me. He was like, "Don't get up, sit down." And I'm like, "No, I don't know what's going on." So I'm like looking at my Uber driver. I'm like, "Oh man, please don't let the dude be dead." And I'm like tapping him, older guy. He's like, huh?
Oh.
And he turns around, looks at me. He's like, I'm sorry. And I'm like, I'm out of it. I'm like, and he goes, I'm sorry, but he kept saying my face. And I'm like, what? And I look down, there's nothing but blood everywhere. So I'm like thinking, like, I don't know where I'm bleeding from. I'm like, so I start touching myself. I was like, I started going down, started touching my face, and now blood is just coming out of my face. And I'm like, in that moment, I wanted to pass out, but I just couldn't. I think my ego didn't let me pass out.
What?
It was adrenaline. It was adrenaline and ego. Like my ego was not letting me. Cause I remember I was like stood up. I'm wobbling out of the car, and they're all like, "Sit down," and I'm just like, and I was like, "Call my mama." I'm like, "Call my mom." I can't even talk because all this is split open.
Oh, goodness.
So I'm like, "Call my mom," and they're like, I was like, "Where's my phone?" And the guy goes, I don't know where your phone's at. I said, can you go look in the car? He looking in the car. He said, I don't see it. The car's like smashed. I walk over to the car and I stumble. The funny side note, guys, real. My close friend, JR, calls my phone at the exact time I'm looking for it. I'm looking for it and I can hear it ringing. My phone got smacked all the way to the front of so it's under the gas pedal.
Dang.
So I gotta go in the car. I'm like, searching around, I'm just touching stuff. I feel it, grab my phone. It's blood all over the phone. And what the doctor said, it looks like I smacked not only my face against like my screen, but also the bars of the back of the headrest. So I remember, this how I know everything. I was knocked out because the ambulance got there so fast. No, I remember sitting there like, how the fuck?
And they never do.
Yeah, I was like, how did they get here like within 2 minutes? And the dude was like, dude, y'all was in the car like out. And then I remember I got to the doctors and everything. They're like having that, like a whole towel here, and they're having to put the towels because it's just like bleeding out. They want to take me to a CAT scan first. So they do a CAT scan. I'm like bleeding through the CAT scan as they put me in the thing. And I'm just like losing blood. I'm saying to myself, like, I want to pass out so bad. And I was like, I just can't. And now they didn't call my mom and all this. And she's freaked out because we just got off the phone. So when I call my mom back, she's like, I just got off the phone with you. She's making a joke. I just got off the phone with you. What you doing? She had me on speaker. She was with her coworkers. I was trying to tell her. She's like, what? She said, what? And they FaceTimed me and she's screaming.
So she's in Houston and you called her because what? What was she going to do all the way from Houston? Like,
it's my mama.
Make her worry?
It's my mama. I have to call her, so.
But call her after the fact when you're good.
I'm not thinking that in the moment. And you're not thinking any of that in the moment. You're thinking about who love me. I called her. And I remember sitting there like, my mom's screaming, her coworkers are screaming. And everybody's like, tell my mom, go home. Just go home. Go home. And my mom booked a flight and got there the next morning. And I got to the hospital and I had all the hemorrhages to my face. So I had to get like all together like 50, 60 stitches to stitch just this part up. So all this was open.
Good thing you're fine now. Shoot.
Yeah. So I did that. I had to do that. Didn't even know that I tore ligaments into my ankle until we were at the hospital for 2 hours because they had me in the stretcher the whole time. They was trying to fix my face. So they were doing everything. They was trying to like get the wire inside my. So I got one doctor doing my eyes. I got one doctor inside my mouth. Now, mind you can't numb the mouth. So it was just, I was just feeling that and I was just laying there like, oh. And then I remember, I just said, I gotta go to the restroom. I got up to go use the restroom and I like fell and Greg got me. And he looked and they was like, oh, boom. And they're like, oh, wait a minute. You know, and then so, yeah, it was
I really hope your insurance gave you some.
Of course they didn't.
Because you didn't push it.
No, because the people that hit us were in a stolen car.
Are you kidding me?
So the reason we got hit is because we were turning right and they jumped the curb because they were being chased by, I don't know, like a cop or something. But they jumped the curb and smacked us.
So hold on, how is that your problem? You're in the Uber. Somebody's gonna have to pay you.
Uber only pays you if they also have insurance on the other vehicle. Right? I don't know. I've been through two different law firms. Trust me. We've been through the depths of everything. And it got to the point, I've been through so much with that wreck. I'm just glad it's behind me. As in, even when it comes to even trying to see what I can get out of it, because I've been through enough. Back and forth with Lori, back and forth on the phone. Gotta go here.
Oh, hell no. I'll be like, somebody's paying me.
But that's not, it sounds good, right? But there's policies in place where they don't, there's nothing you can do, right? So, and I'm the type of person, if the bro was done, just let it go. Like, and I've tried, I remember, so that happened, and then I was in physical therapy for 4 months for my ankle.
Wow.
I was on crutches for like the next 2-3 months. And I remember my daughter came to see me the next day. And I remember I got to the door. No, she came in the room and she's like peeking around the corner, like trying to see. Like
she got scared.
A little bit. She kind of like stood there and she was like, and I was like, because my eyes are closed. And all this stuff. And she was like, just come here, just come here. Like, I'm okay. And then after that, she was like, wanted to take care. Like, oh, do you need this or do you need that? And my mom came out here and she stayed for like 2-3 weeks. Of course. It was like, it's just weird. That was a weird day, a weird time.
You kind of had a feeling when you woke up and it was
just something was off. Like something felt off and I didn't know what felt off. And I was just like, all right. And I remember sitting at the hospital and I was saying, damn, like that could have been it. And did you do everything you want to do? Are you a good father? Are you a good, like you start thinking about all of those things. And I remember just sitting there like, man, that's probably the second time in my life why I asked God, or kind of was talking to God in a moment and was like, 'cause I pray every day, right? So, but this is the second time in my life I asked God, don't let me die. Don't just don't do that. Not right now. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I got things going for myself. Like, my kids are good. Like, don't, don't do that. Like I did that.
Don't do that. Like,
No, I'm not saying, like, when I talk to God as if he's my friend. Like, I don't talk to God as he's, like, something. I talk to him as if I'm talking to, like, listen, God, like, you know my heart. Like, I have a good heart. I really feel like I do. And not saying that they have people with good hearts. Shit, that's the people that most things happen to. But that moment, and then the moment I was like 15, 16, those are the only two moments I said, God, don't let me die. In the moments. And yeah, I didn't. I definitely had some lasting effects from that. Just
makes you appreciate life more. And
yeah. Hell yeah.
Grateful.
Hell yeah. Like, man, I was like, I'm still nervous when it comes to like cars and stuff like. But the thing is, you can't avoid anything. Anything that's supposed to happen is gonna happen. There's no way to avoid a damn thing. And that was one of the moments too. I was like, damn, you can't even avoid that. Because I literally was looking out the window before any of this happened. There was nothing. It's like, I put my head down 2-3 seconds later. I'm like, where the hell did the car come from? And my main thing, to be honest, I was worried about the Uber driver. He was an older guy. He was like 60, 70 years old. And I never talked to him since that day. Right?
Aww.
So I just remember we got to the hospital and they had him in a wheelchair. And he kept passing by the part I was in. It was like, I'm sorry. And I was like, I remember saying, like, it's okay. He was like, no, man, like, yeah.
Well, enough with the negativity, I guess. We're going to go on with some...
But it's not negative.
I just...
I
wanted to know about it. I was curious.
It's just a journey. It's not negative. I don't look at it like a negative thing. Now, in moments I did because it's a setback. You go through this.
Yeah,
I lost my job.
Perform, you couldn't sing,
I couldn't do anything, and I lost my job.
Yeah.
Because now...
And insurance didn't give me no money.
No, facts. So your insurance didn't give you no money. You lost your job because they're like, well, we can't hold your job for the next 3-4 months while you in. And I lost my apartment.
You must have done something bad in your life that you just had to pay for.
I don't look at it like that because there's things that happen to people that don't do anything. So I don't think I did anything bad. I mean, I'm no more different than an everyday person. But I don't think I did anything bad. But if that's my karma, they kicked my ass. Like, I literally went from getting into a wreck to that week or two, my manager saying, hey, do you know how... Listen, this is how crazy it was. When I got into the wreck, I was headed to work. I had to end up calling my manager when I got to the hospital, and she asked me, would you be able to come in tomorrow? I said, I'm going to send you a picture of how I look right now to get you to think I'm not bullshit. And then she looked at the picture. She said, oh my God, we're praying for you. Let us know if you can come in next week. Weeks passed by, and she was like, we can't hold your spot. We got to let somebody else come in. They let me go.
The world moves on quickly, man.
Very. So go from that, you lost your job. I can't perform. I can't sing. I can't damn near open my mouth at all. And then, because you lost your job and everything, you lose your apartment. So I lost my apartment 4 months later.
So what did you do? You're just homeless?
No, I went back to Houston for a month.
Okay.
I went back to Houston for a month. I did not want to go. And I went out there and I did Uber Eats every day. And I just could not stand it. And I was just doing whatever I could to make money in Houston. And I was like, I gotta get back to Vegas. I just kept saying that every day. My mom was happy I was home because I'm home. My brother's happy I'm home. My grandma's happy I'm home. I'm not. My friends are happy. All my friends and family live there. I'm not. But then I also had a family member that was like, I knew he'd be back. And I'm like, God, I gotta get out of here. Because they look at me a certain way because I go and conquer my dreams. I'm out in Vegas by myself. And then for somebody to look at you and say, I know he'd be back. Like, oh shit. So I was like, I gotta get the hell out of here. So I did what I had to do. Got an apartment. My best friend AC was like, bro, you was gonna figure out how to get back to Vegas. I said, yep. Got an apartment. Got to there and then got a job at Tesla, and that's kind of it. Now we're here in this situation. So in a year, that's kind of things that happen. But yeah, I never talked about any of that.
Yeah. Well, I'm good about sucking some private stuff out of people.
Yeah.
Let's say, what advice would you give aspiring singers that are just starting this journey?
Take it serious. That's like my number one thing. Take it serious. Like, I know it's kind of like cliche, but take it serious. Understand it's not a get rich scheme at all. And just be appreciative of your talent. Like, every day I wake up, I thank God for like my talent. I don't never let that go to the side. Like, I thank God that I'm pretty good at writing music or performing, whatever. Just be appreciative. Be yourself. Don't try to be nobody else, because there's a fan base for everybody. So I don't care who you are. You're going to find some people that love you, so just find out who your tribe is.
Yeah.
And just,
or let them find you.
And, that's kind of what I would say.
I have some like quick fire questions.
Okay.
10 of them. You gotta be so quick though.
I got you.
Okay. This is a fun game, I guess. Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston?
Whitney Houston.
Beyonce or Rihanna?
Beyonce performance, but Rihanna's albums.
Taylor Swift or Adele? For me, it's a no-brainer, but...
Oh, we're talking about singing? What are we talking about?
Doesn't matter.
We're talking about singing, Adele.
All right.
Yeah.
Bruno Mars or Justin Timberlake?
Bruno. Yeah, Bruno.
Early bird or night owl?
I'm an early bird.
Call or text?
I'm getting on the phone. I need to hear that. I need to hear your voice.
TV shows or podcasts?
Podcast.
Fancy restaurant or comfort food?
If I got the money, fancy restaurant.
You're gonna have French fries anyway.
Oh, I'm still bad at French fries. I'll eat French fries wherever I go.
Long walk or short run?
Long walk.
Concert or festival?
Concert.
Cool. So, finish the story segment. Start a story based on a ridiculous situation, and actually, you know what? To make it fun, you're gonna start a story and she's gonna finish it.
Start a story about what?
Whatever story that we can come up with, something funny, not necessarily something that exists.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait, a story about
I want to include your girlfriend in this one, if you want. She's like, no.
She's not like, man, that's not her thing.
Okay, let's scrap that one then.
You have those.
Oh, I know, but I'm gonna be another one. Okay, so we'll do another reel and then we'll do that.
Okay, got you.
Reel number 2, song association game. Say a word, and you would have to either sing a line or tell me the title.
Okay.
So I'll say the word and you tell me the title of the song.
Okay.
Love.
Love Yours by J. Cole.
All right. Heart.
Heart. I can hear your heart crying out for me. Who's this? Mario.
Yes.
Mario.
All right. Dance.
Dance like it's the night.
Okay.
Thinking it's tonight. The DJ's falling in love. What song is that? Usher.
All right. I thought you were going to say the Just Dance by Lady Gaga. I was like,
what? No.
Rain.
Rain down on me. What?
You guy.
What?
Purple rain.
Oh, Prince. Yeah. My bad. I was going to go straight to Rain Down on Me.
Moon.
I know a title of the song. Under Cherry Moon.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't spell the song.
Time. Time after time.
Oh, yeah.
Cindy.
Oh, I forgot about this song.
Dream. Star.
You know, it's weird when you asking me, I'm thinking of like my own music. It's so hard to like think of anybody else. I'm trying to think, did I say Star in any song? Star. I don't know.
There's one that's Counting Stars by One Republic. Or I don't know much.
Why the hell would I?
Baby.
Oh, baby. Oh yeah, shout out to Bieber, man.
All right. You got one. Let's do this. We did all right with this one.
Okay.
Let's do this is the real number 3. You pick a card. Let's see what it says.
Okay, just one on top or?
Whichever you want. If you want to go like whichever.
Yeah, that's it. Because I kind of already read the first one.
Okay.
All right. Never feel pain again or never feel fear again. I'm gonna go. They kind of both coincide with me. I'm gonna go with never feel fear again. I'm a hypochondriac, so I deal with that on an everyday basis. But the fear kind of brings the pain when you're hypochondriac, so it kind of makes you feel like you're in pain when you're not. So I just go with fear.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Let's go another one.
Yeah, let's go. Let me see.
Yeah, let's do more.
All right, so never feel depressed or sad, or never. I can remember that one. Never be afraid again. Never.
Oh, you did that. What? Did you repeat it now?
I wouldn't mind being. I mean, depressed is a part of life, so. Never be sad or depressed, or have $1 million.
That's a what?
Let's shake this out.
Hold on, let's just do the first one.
Let me see. Let's shake this up. Yeah, because these are.
That's like what?
All right, so. Your friends always know where you are. Your friends know everything you have said. I'm gonna go with either one's not. Either one's okay with me, but I'll go with my friends know everything I said, because I'll say some wild stuff, and I think they'll just be like, "Yeah, that's him." Like,
you don't want them to know where you are.
Well, I don't. I'm at home.
I'm at home.
so I'm at home. So, lose your ability to talk for a year, lose your ability to walk for a year.
I think for me that's easy, but you'd be taking a long, sweet time to answer that one.
I'm gonna go walk, cause not talking is wild. That's like you at what is it called, a monastery?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like one. Nah, I don't want to do that. Nah, I already talk.
Because obviously, if you can't talk, then you can't sing.
You can't. Yeah. But if you're not walking, you still sing or whatever.
Because this is what you do.
Yeah. Have your own personal bodyguard, or be the most athletic kid in school.
Can you not be athletic and have a bodyguard?
I mean,
you gotta be like.
I don't need a bodyguard. Yet. I am.
Yes.
Okay, flexing. I'm just saying, I am the bodyguard. Like I can make sure everybody's okay. All right. Lose your memory of people, or lose your ability to see.
I have a terrible memory, so that is already.
Okay, so you lose your memory. Memory, or you can't see.
I don't think I could ever want to lose the memory of like my mom and my dad.
But what if you
family.
can't see your mom?
At least I got the memory of. I remember what she looks like. I remember conversations we had. I remember stuff we did together.
I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
But not being able to see nothing else.
Ray and Stevie got away with it for years.
That's true. That's damn true. Damn, that is true. I didn't think about that. Yeah, you can still be successful and not
singing.
Yeah, that's true. And everything else probably heightens when you can't. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, I'm seeing Mike up half full because my memory sucks.
That's tough.
What was your answer?
Sight.
Sight.
Yeah.
You don't want to see?
No. I've seen enough. I've seen enough.
I've seen enough.
Alright, we're gonna do one more.
Alright.
Okay. Have a date with any girl or boy anytime you want, or know the answers to every question in life. Have a date with any girl or boy.
You better not have a date because she's right there.
There's nobody
she gonna whoop that ass.
even if she wasn't here, that wouldn't be like, there's no date I want to go on with nobody. So, I'm gonna go to know the answers to every life question.
Smart.
Even though I don't want the answers to life questions too. I kind of, in a weird way, even though it messes with my anxiety and everything else, I kind of like I just kind of like how life is where you just don't know anything.
What helps you when you start getting like this anxiety attack? Like what helps you? How do you manage that?
I don't know. I mean, at this point, I deal with it so much that I'm just like,
And what triggers it, you know?
anything. Soon as I wake up in the morning. The exact
Do
moment
you like pray when you wake up in the morning?
that's the first thing I do. The
Okay.
first thing I do in the morning is wake up, pray, and then I have affirmations on my phone I read.
Okay.
So I have my affirmations I read, and then I pray. But I could be laying there, and I could be like, all right, I'm about to get up, and then I'm going to go to the restroom. And I can go, damn, what if I get up and go to the restroom, and I pass out for some reason? Or that's how, hypochondria is bad. So you'll start thinking this, and if you wake up, let's say you wake up with a headache. Oh, shit, I'm about to die.
Oh, so
Like,
everything is like
Everything's there. So everything is
it's extreme.
yeah. So everything goes to probably that. So if I'm sick, I'm coughing. Oh shit, I had to put me in the hospital. Oh, it's about to be. That's how it goes. So it can't be. And like the last couple of days, it's allergy season. So I'm coughing and in my head I'm freaked out. Man, is it? And it sucks because there's nothing you can do you just gotta. The best way to go through it is just go through it. So just going through life and just kind of like, all right, I'm gonna go outside. I'm gonna do this. Because if you let it mess with you, you'll sit in the house all day, just kind of like.
Right.
But I try not to because I got kids.
Right.
They don't know what that is, so they want to go outside. They want to go blah blah blah. I can't go. No, Daddy don't feel like it. I gotta go. All right, I'm outside. I'm probably freaked out in my head, but.
So what about for those that don't have kids but deal with this? What would your advice be for them? How can they
Yoga, stretch, stuff like that.
work out?
Yeah, kind of get my mind off of it when I'm doing it. Yeah, my mind kind of.
Nature? You go in nature and stuff?
Oh yeah, you can do that too. You can do that. I would say do stuff like that. Go outside. Because I think sometimes if you just sit in that spot, it'll get you cramped up. You know. But yeah, I've never met anyone in my life that have hypochondria at all. But I remember when I was younger, they would just call it overthinking. Like all my friends, like even when I was in high school, bro, stop overthinking, bro. And stop overthinking. And I think it comes from like when I was 14, 15, I got shot at in this whole situation and whatever. I thought I was gonna die. And from that day, everything in my life was, and it just like
the trauma just hasn't.
More trauma just kept. Right, so I have trauma of that, and that's why anytime I get like a girlfriend or anything like that, I think somebody's gonna leave me because I don't have that. So I'm like, well, the dude that had me would leave. I know he would leave. That's how my mind works, right? So if this guy that had me didn't show up to the hospital, don't know who I am, don't care to know who I am, and then has a whole family by herself, I know this woman that just came into my life saying she loved me gonna actually leave me at some point. So now your anxiety is like ramped up over that as well. So
She ain't leaving you.
no, I'm not saying she will. I'm just saying like that's how it goes. But
I think if your mind, if you put it in the universe, then
yeah,
and because the more we are what we constantly do,
For
what
sure.
we say. So you just have to start thinking like more positive.
no, I think positive all day long. I just know what I deal with as well. So in my mind, I'll be like, oh, I'm good. Like, so I'll just always say I'm good. Like, or things are good. I try to say like everything good. Like, because I really do feel like, remember you said like maybe last year could have been because of this and the third, but I really do feel like sounds narcissistic, but I do feel like I'm one of like God's like, because he's always giving me things or putting me in good situations. Even when I'm like, why did that close? Why would that happen? 6 months down the line, I'm like, oh. Like, I lost my apartment. I'm in a way better apartment now. Like, my apartment I think, looks way nicer. And it's a better scenery. You know, that other apartment is amazing too, but it's just different. And I'm like, I didn't see that when I was losing my apartment. All I saw was the eviction note. And all I saw was this, and I'm like, oh my God, I gotta go home. I look goofy. I ain't been home in 7, 8 years. Like, I come out here to visit, of course. But now everybody know, like, you back at Granny house? What happened, superstar?
Yeah.
You know, I'm like, I gotta get the hell out of here, man. You know what I mean? So, that's life. It happened, and bounce back, and now we're here. So,
I'm glad. And hopefully you can dig into that past trauma and heal it, and hopefully.
yeah, everything's straight. I'm cool.
Good. And I guess that's all we got for today. And I'm sure we'll be doing more. And
Well, I definitely thank you so much for
thank
having
you.
me. And thank you for letting me be a part of this as it grows and things like that. I'm pretty sure we're going to work together
Oh yeah.
a million other times on a million other things. So I definitely thank you so much for having me. And I want to say you enjoy the rest of your day. Like I'm on the phone. Yeah, I'm like that.